Hello, I'm David Frazier, aka the Market Monk. Well, stock prices here in the United States sold off again today on Monday, April 7th, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average down approximately 166 points today as compared to last Friday's close. There's been a lot of talk, of course, in the media. Anytime you get stocks selling off several days in a row, you have these people that the major broadcast news outlets tend to bring on that tend to get bearish in their thinking. Just the opposite, when stocks rise by more than 100 points for several days, then you tend to see very bullish people in the media. And I never pay much attention at all to any of those folks. And not that there aren't sometimes some really learned and smart and very knowledgeable folks that go on those shows. I have found that relying on the data, for me personally, has always generated much better investment performance results than listening to what some so-called expert thinks or believes. I'd rather just go by the data, and I've done very well doing that, and persons that have subscribed to my newsletters have also done well by following my advice, whereby I rely on the data. And the recent sell-off just really doesn't bother me much, and that's because the economic data, which is the most important data, these geopolitical factors and events rarely have any lasting impact on stock prices, whether positive or negative. It's what's going on in the economy. And although, I'm sure you've heard numerous people say how bad the economy is going to be, how we're going back into a recession. Some claim we're going to go into a depression. Well, the data just doesn't support those beliefs. The data, and I'm really speaking for the most part of leading economic statistics, and I monitor approximately 25 leading economic statistics on a regular basis from around the world. And those statistics have continued to indicate that the pace of economic growth in most regions of the world is going to increase during the second half of this year. And generally speaking, or at least historically speaking, whenever we've had leading economic indicators suggest that the pace of economic growth is going to increase during the ensuing months, well, stock prices in general have tended to trend higher for at least several months. So, yes, we've had a fairly sizable sell-off in certain sectors of the NASDAQ, the technology-laden NASDAQ Composite Index, and that does not surprise me. And the reason being is the stocks that were behind that sell-off, or at least many of those stocks, are stocks of companies that have never generated a profit and might not ever generate a profit. These big story stocks such as Tesla Motors, Twitter, Athena Health. Athena Health actually has made a profit over the past few years, but I throw that in with Tesla and Twitter, who have never made a profit, because the price of the company's stock, as is the case with Tesla and Twitter, just cannot be justified in any way whatsoever by the underlying earnings of the company. Tesla and Twitter don't have any earnings. And, at some point, people are going to wake up to participate in these stocks, and they're going to say, boy, I don't know if it makes sense to continue to hold this stock, given the extreme price level related to the likely future earnings of the company. So, that's really about all that I have to say today. I spent a lot of time this past weekend and going over more than 100 economic statistics from around the world, looking at the internal trading action in not only the U.S. stock market, but also stock markets in Brazil, India, China, Japan, Europe. And I think, in my opinion, I should say, based on the research that I did this weekend and that I do on a regular basis, my opinion is that stock prices in general will stabilize throughout the remainder of this week and then begin to turn higher again within the next couple of weeks. So I encourage you to not pay too much attention to the folks that you see on these broadcast financial shows, they're just usually trying to sell you some story and some belief, and I found very few of them do their homework and do any in-depth analysis. Thank you for listening. I'll speak with you again tomorrow.